So, as promised last week, this week we have some major news coming from Warner Brothers and Discovery in regards to the DC cinematic universe. And it's kind of a mixed bag. And please excuse my voice this morning. Or actually, by the time this video comes out, it'll be the afternoon. Please excuse my voice, though, because I am battling some kind of cough or sore throat, something. I don't know. I had to go get it checked out. Um, but yeah, I did want to go ahead and dive into this. I wanted to go ahead and get this news out there because it is a mixed bag, unfortunately. Um, and this video may end up devolving into a rant here because, as you guys know, I've been pretty enthusiastic about Zaslav. I've been pretty enthusiastic about the James Gunn and Peter Safran hire. I've liked what Zaslav has been doing over at Warner Brothers so far. But this is kind of the first big hiccup, the first big, pothole on the road that I, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I can kind of understand the logic behind this decision, but I think overall it's going to end up being a very bad decision that's being made here. But let's start off with the positive, and then we'll dive into Henry Cavill's post. So the positive news is I was right. My speculation was correct. They are rebooting the DC movies. They're rebooting the DC cinematic universe. They're ending the Snyderverse. My guess is it'll probably be with Flashpoint and the Flash movie. That'll probably end the Snyderverse and begin a whole new continuity. That would just be my guess. But whatever the case is, they are ending the Snyderverse and they are starting a new universe. They're rebooting everything, which I think is a smart move because I will admit the Snyderverse has some bright spots here or there. I was talking with somebody a couple of days ago, and I said, that flashback scene where you have like the Green Lanterns and the Olympian gods, and I think you had Atlanteans were in there too. There was like this big war with all these different factions of the DC universe fighting against Darkseid and his forces on an ancient Earth. I was like, that's actually really, really cool. I like that scene. I think that's a great concept. This idea of all these factions coming together, and then maybe eventually all these factions come together again in the form of the Justice League to fight Darkseid again. That's a great idea. It's a great concept. That's a great through line for a phase one. But when you look at the individual movies, when you look at the overall presentation, the overall execution of the Snyderverse, it was missing and it had a lot of bad spots. And it's over. It's done. So save the Snyderverse. That movement is dead. It's not happening, and I think that's for the best. Hopefully, with this new universe, we'll get some good content, some good movies. It'll be easier to follow, and hopefully, they won't make the same mistake that Marvel's making right now, where they've got quantity over quality. That's not how you do it, folks. You can keep feeding people shit, but eventually, they're going to reject the shit. That's just how it is. So hopefully they'll learn from Marvel's mistakes, and hopefully this new continuity will be amazing. But that brings us to the bad news, and I think that this universe is already getting off on a bad foot with this decision. This isn't good. This is not a good move at all. So let's just dive into Henry Cavill's post and oh boy. All right. So let's just dive into this. So this is posted by Henry Cavill News. And this is coming from the man himself. He said, I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. So, of course, they made a big deal, a couple of months ago that Cavill was back as Superman. Everybody was excited. I was excited because I think Cavill is the best thing out of the DC universe. I think Cavill is the best thing. that, the Snyderverse had going for them. If there was one actor I wanted back from the Snyder continuity, it was Henry Cavill, but it's not happening. And that's a big disappointment because I think Cavill should be the modern Superman. And this post from Cavill actually proves why. So let's continue. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. Okay, now, the issue with this is that I can understand the logic of James Gunn and Safran wanting to start over. I can understand the logic of wanting a completely new clean slate, even removing the actors and the actresses. I get that. Just starting over. But is it necessary? I don't think so. If they do what I think they're going to do, and they're going to reset the universe with Flashpoint in the Flash movie, then you're starting a new continuity, but why can't you carry over the same actors? Why can't you carry over the same actors to portray the same characters just in a new universe? Maybe people are looking at it, or, maybe WB's looking at it and saying to themselves, well, we could do that, but if we have the same actors playing the same characters, it could confuse the average moviegoer. And I get that because let's be honest here, people like us who keep up with this news that are following the events of the DC universe and the minutia going on at Warner Brothers, we're more in tune to this stuff. We're paying more attention to this stuff, fair enough. But at the same time, are people really that dumb that they would be like, Henry Cavill's playing this Superman, but it has nothing to do with the Man of Steel plot. It has nothing to do with Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, why is there a disconnect here? And it's like, no, I think if you come out with the Flash movie and you reset the continuity, I think people are going to be smart enough to understand, okay, same actor, but different Superman. This is not the same Superman from Man of Steel and Justice League. This is a brand new Superman. It's just being played by the same actor. It's not that hard to get their minds around. So on the one hand, I understand the logic, but I think they're underestimating the intelligence of people. Okay, I'm just being honest. So to finish off with this post from Cavill, for those who have been by my side throughout the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. That right there takes some real class. That right there takes some real class. Yeah, I mean that right there proves why Cavill is the man to be Superman. Why he's the perfect actor for Superman. Look at how well he's taking this. He's not going out and saying, it's not like with Patty Jenkins, who is going out trying to say, oh, I never, like she's trying to defend the whole Wonder Woman 3 situation and stuff. And, she's not like she's making a big deal out of everything. And Cavill's not. Cavill's just like, okay, I understand. They want to start clean. Even with the actors, they just want to start over. I get it. I understand it. I wish them the best of luck. That's real class right there. And the way he talks about Superman, what Superman stands for, the example he sets for us, because I've told people before and I will say it here. Superman is the Superman. He is what we all should strive to be. That's the point of Superman. we can't be as good as Superman, but we should all strive to be as good as Superman, because in striving to be as good as Superman, we'll become better people in the long run. Cavill gets the character. Cavill's a very classy guy. Um, Cavill's a good guy, and I just totally disagree with this decision. Does that mean the DC universe that um, Gunn and Safran and Zaslav are creating is going to be total shit? No, it doesn't. In fact, I think it's probably going to be quite good. I think it's going to be better than the Snyderverse. I think it's probably going to be better than what Marvel is shitting out right now. But I think this is a bad first move. I really do. Unless they're trying to pull a trick on us, and it's like, oh, we're gonna say Cavill's not returning as Superman, but when we get to Flashpoint and we reboot everything, we're gonna have a scene at the end of that showing Cavill is actually returning. That would be fantastic. Maybe that's what they're planning to do. Or maybe they're throwing this out there, and maybe this is them trying to gauge people's reaction. And when they see how disappointed people are that Cavill isn't returning as Superman, maybe they're going to bring him back. That's kind of really high hopes right there. I mean, that's really stretching it. I don't think that's going to be the case. That's usually not how these things turn out. So as far as Cavill returning as Superman, I think, we're going to have to let that hope, sadly die. And, that's not fun. That's not fun. Yeah. So Cavill seems to be out as Superman. It's going to be a total reboot. Not even the actors are coming back. And some of them shouldn't come back, looking at you, Ezra Miller, but Cavill was definitely the one that people wanted back the most. Not going to happen. I'm disappointed about this. I think it's the wrong move. I totally disagree with this decision. And I'm calling Zaslav and Gunn and Safran out on it. I don't want people to think that I'm just like, a total Zaslav loyalist, that my enthusiasm for what Zaslav is doing is clouding my judgment. No, when I think he makes a bad move, when I think he makes a poor decision, I'm going to call him out on it. And I think this is a really poor decision. I'm not happy about this. This is not what I would have done. I would have rebooted the universe, but I would have kept Cavill as Superman. And I got half of what I wanted, but not the other half. So this is where we are. Give me your thoughts on this down in the comments section below. Of course, check out my other channels, my other social media down in the description box below. Subscribe to this channel, click the like button, click that bell for notifications, because there's probably going to be more DC news coming out pretty soon. Next year is the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out next year in regards to DC and Warner Brothers. So be sure to stay tuned to this channel, and I will bring you that content as soon as I get it. That being said, let me know how disappointed you are about this. And I don't know. I guess we're going to have to start speculating who's going to be the new Superman. I honestly, there's no one I can think of at the moment but Cavill. But I'll give it some thought. All right. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Jessica James with a Z. I'm signing out.